Welcome to Planet Earth, a grim fairy tale. Once upon a time, many, many years ago, creatures on planet Earth lived in harmony. Life was good. Slowly things began to change. It was called progress, and almost everyone was excited. Inventors discovered how to send information through the air without wires. First it was sound, and then words, and then pictures, and soon everyone on planet Earth was connected all the time. Life was good. Earthlings were happy. Then something unexpected happened. A few creatures on planet Earth began to get ill. They had headaches and were tired. Some couldn't sleep at night. Others had difficulty thinking and remembering. Some became depressed or anxious. Others were nauseous or dizzy. They called themselves sensitives. They were an evolved race of beings who had come to warn Earthlings about electrosmogitis, a disease you get when you live in an electrosmog community. It seems that the inventions that allowed Earthlings to communicate used antennas to send invisible rays that were making sensitives ill. The sensitives tried to warn the Earthlings, but no one listened. Earthlings enjoyed their toys and didn't want to give them up. It was easier to think that sensitives were imagining their problems. Sensitives were ignored by their families and friends. And by their doctors. Some of them were unable to live in cities and moved to the country, but the antennas that generated these invisible rays followed them. Little did the Earthlings know that those antennas on hotels, on office and apartment buildings, on fire halls, on school property, at the end of their street, and even in church steeples gave off invisible rays of light that entered their homes and flowed in and around their bodies. These invisible rays were making them sick. More and more Earthlings developed cancer and diabetes and multiple sclerosis. Some had difficulty reproducing, and they were successful. Their children had behavioral problems that they treated with drugs. Some of those children died of cancer of the blood and the brain, and parents were unhappy, but still no one paid attention to the sensitives. Then along came some scientists and doctors who began to listen to sensitives, and they learned all sorts of things. When they tried to share this information with their colleagues, or with the medical profession, or with the Global Health Organization, they were laughed at. Some gave up, but a few persisted. They did research, much of it unfunded. They published papers that very few people read. They alerted the media, but the media wanted to give balanced reporting, such as, some say it is harmful, but others say it is safe, and this just confused everybody. Can't those darn scientists agree on anything? In the meantime, schools began to install wireless computer networks. And children of all ages had their own wireless phone, and many of them used them all the time. Homes also had wireless computers and smart meters and cordless phones and wireless games and special TVs and lights that also produced these invisible rays, and wireless alarm systems to protect all this expensive equipment. Then the media began to report stories such as 3 children in one kindergarten die of leukemia, many others sick. Authorities deny this is a cancer cluster related to nearby antennas. Cell phone antennas blamed for kindergarten cancer cluster, Chicago Tribune. Bayville, New York. A lawsuit is set to be filed Monday alleging that the cancer afflicting students and teachers of a Bayville school is caused by the dozens of cell phone antennas attached to a nearby water tower. 3 young students of Bayville Primary School have already died of leukemia, and many more are sick. We believe as much as 30% of the teachers, administrative staff, and employees have been diagnosed with some type of illness, cancer, leukemia, and things of that nature, said attorney Andrew Campanelli. The lawsuit seeks to have the antennas removed, citing a village law that states that public property near a school or within a mile of residence cannot be used for profit. The cell phone antennas bring $200,000 annually to the village coffers. Sharp increases in diabetes, autism, attention deficit disorder have experts baffled. From 1980 to 2008, the age-adjusted percentage of diagnosed diabetes increased 122% for men and 93% for women. Number of autism cases increased sharply starting in 1980. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder increased from 2003 to 2007 for males, females, and for the age group 4 to 10 years old, 11 to 14 years old, and 15 to 17 years old. Sick building syndrome, blamed for allergies and asthma, may be linked to dirty electricity. Some people were overheard saying, "These are the same symptoms sensitives are warning us about. Perhaps we should listen to them." Parents, concerned about the health of their children and these invisible rays, asked school boards to remove Wi-Fi antennas in schools and not to allow cell phone antennas on or near school property. But they were laughed at and shunned as anti-progressive technophobes who want to return to the Dark Ages. But what if the sensitives are right about electrosmogitis? After all, Earthlings are beings of light, and perhaps these invisible rays of light are affecting them. Shouldn't we, at least listen?